Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 1ND podcast. I'm your host, Vikash, and joined by my co-host, Sagar. And today, we've got a very special guest. He's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. His Twitter is unparalleled. He is the most unstoppable force on the basketball court, but cannot hit an open layup to save his life. He is part of the UF class of 2020, getting his bachelor's in psychology, and he's one of the best friends a guy could have. It's your boy, Kunal.
Wow, thank you for that introduction. That was very touching. What's up,
Was
guys?
it hype?
It was very hype.
I'm actually kind of impressed with that. That was very well said.
You don't have
I was
to
thinking
include
about
the
it
part.
right before because we had a little technical difficulty. So I'm like, how can I introduce my main man, Kunal? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you didn't have to include the part about me missing open layups. You know.
I think that was important. I think
It was too.
Yeah. You forgot to say he's an Atlanta Falcons fan.
Oh, that's the worst part of him.
I
Oh, yeah,
am an
true.
Atlanta Falcons fan. That is correct.
Oh, I also forgot to mention that. Oh, ladies, he is single.
That is
Yeah,
true,
he's
ladies.
very
If you are
single.
listening to this podcast, hit me up, bro. Follow my Twitter at Kunizi_. That's where the magic happens, baby.
Oh gosh. All right, Kunal. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, I go to UF. I just graduated. I was supposed to have graduated today, but because of coronavirus and everything that's happening, unfortunately, and obviously couldn't. I'm going to be at UF for another year to get my Master's of Science in Management. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, just a big sports guy, love music, love movies, love tweeting, as you guys can tell. That's pretty much
Oh
it.
gosh.
That's all my life consists of.
All obviously due to COVID and like the graduation stuff is on hold. Are you going to be able to walk like physically anytime whenever this is like all over?
Yeah, so like UF sent us an email and in our mail and our commencement stuff, they said that there was gonna be a walking ceremony in I think they said late July or early August. But I mean, who knows if that's gonna happen? That's what they're planning. And to be honest, I don't even know if I'm gonna attend it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
remember you were saying the point in walking is to walk with your friends, so that
Yeah.
you're having a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and-
also for your family. I feel as well.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not gonna be the same if because a lot of my friends have jobs that are gonna start by then, right? So they'll be gone, and maybe I'm being a little selfish, but graduation, I want to have the pictures with all the friends that have helped me along the way and my family too. That's
I
all
feel
good.
that. I mean, I know Sagar. I wouldn't say regret, but I know he said that if he could go back, he would probably walk in his undergrad because his parents kind of wanted him to, right, Sagar?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was too big of a deal, like walking and stuff, but it seems like it was a big deal for my parents. That's why the funny thing is, I was going to walk this time. Literally, I think walking was set to be on the 9th this month. So I was going to get everything set to go and take all the pictures and all that prerequisite stuff, but can't now. So whenever they do offer us to do a physical walk, I'm definitely going to do it this time for sure, especially since it's my master's, but it's a bummer that we can't do it right now, especially if you're graduating with your friends. I totally feel that because there's a few friends of mine that are graduating this semester as well, and it would have been cool to just walk with them, but I'm sure a few of them are moving out of state, going back home, starting jobs like Kunal said, so it's kind of a bummer, but hey, there's always, the local friends and family that are going to be there. So I'm still going to do it, and I'll look forward to that.
And whenever you want to, just borrow my cap and gown so you don't have to pay $120.
Exactly. I can avoid all that, cost. It's insane how costly it is. I was looking at the prices, and they make a decent chunk of money from this stuff.
It's crazy. You'll just have to buy your own tassel probably because we probably won't have the same color tassel. But I'd rather pay $10 than $120,
Yeah, that makes sense.
That is true.
I'm sure at UF it's the same thing, right? Expensive graduation stuff.
Yeah, I think cap and gown was I had to pay a late fee too because I didn't even do it by the deadline. I think it was $60 around that.
Oh man, did
The
you?
graduate school cap and gowns are more expensive actually. So because I bought both. Oh
Dang. Oh, you just cursed twice. Oh my goodness. Okay.
oops.
Well,
That's how annoyed I am at the fact that I had to buy cap and gowns.
it's all good. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so the cap and gown is expensive, but they look kind of cool. I like the black look for sure, especially with that. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a big scarf you get, and it's like
Oh,
yellow,
I know what you're
green.
talking about.
Yeah,
I
it looks
forgot what
pretty
it was
cool.
called.
So
I was
that'll be
I
fun.
was most excited for designing my cap.
Oh, you know what? I was actually not gonna do that.
Really?
I
You're
feel like it's less prevalent at masters because I designed my bachelor's one, but I didn't do it with my master's one.
okay. What were you gonna put on your cap?
It was gonna be something stupid. It was gonna be like the Lil Yachty Lil Boat album with my face on it, or like the
Okay.
Lil Uzi versus the World album with my face on it. One of the two, or maybe I'd split it up. Just something like that. Something goofy, you know.
So one of those albums is amazing, and the other one is not. So
Well, actually, that's incorrect because they're both amazing.
you can you're entitled to your own opinion.
Thank
How
you.
about
I
that?
appreciate that.
That
Hey,
opinion
actually,
is
you're
trash.
not. That opinion is bad. It literally sucks.
You know what? I hope the viewers of this podcast know that this is a Lil Yachty no hate zone. You know what?
Yeah, I mean, I
you-
think they'll be fine with that because I think most people think his music is bad.
Listen, man. Like I always say, Lil Yachty as a person, he's very cool. I like him, but I just don't enjoy his music.
He makes great music. You know what? When he drops Lil Boat 3, you guys will change your mind. It'll be
You said that about the Lil Bo too.
and
Yeah,
Lil Boat
yeah,
2 was
okay.
good.
Look here, like, I'm like trying to support Lil Yachty. I listened to his album. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into this wanting to like it, and I came out like, it's not the best. So hopefully, you know what? I'll keep my hopes up. I'll listen to Little Boat 3, and I'll give it. We can make a review on it for our
You know
next
what?
episode of the podcast.
I'm literally just gonna make a list of the GOAT Lil Yachty songs, and you'll realize his true genius. He can out rap any rapper in the game right now.
Oh my
that is
God.
facts.
Even
That
Lil
is-
Uzi.
I think that is
They're
your hottest
tied.
take.
They're tied.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, I want to ask you your opinion on Jermaine Cole.
He is overrated. Overrated garbage. No, I'm just kidding. He's not garbage, but he is overrated.
Oh my
This
god.
man. This
Okay.
man.
Okay.
See, we're just, right now. You know what I'm trying to establish? I'm trying to establish Kunal's music taste and how trash it is.
Trash isn't the right word. Diverse. I'm musically diverse.
Can you give me your definition of women empowerment music?
Oh, bet. So it's any song that is sung by a woman. That's women empowerment music. So I literally have a whole entire playlist called music, like literally, just any song that I like that is by a female artist is considered women empowerment.
what if it's a song that's demeaning towards women, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
sung by a
okay.
woman?
That's okay.
Is that still woman empowerment?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
an oxymoron. That's what it is.
no, it's empowering because it is spoken by the woman's point of view and not the man's point of view. The woman is a woman, right? So she knows what is demeaning to herself and what is not. And she felt that it was okay to rap about it because that's her opinion. And that's empowering.
Empowering to who? Herself?
Yes.
Okay,
Still-
but she's depowering other women.
Still empowerment, though.
You're technically correct, and I guess that's the best kind of correct.
Yes, it is.
So I guess
I'm
I'll,
always correct, though. My opinions are right.
I wouldn't say that for sure, especially with Lil Yachty. But
And your sports
Yeah.
teams.
your sports teams are pretty
And
atrocious.
yeah.
I
Speaking
disagree.
of that, I think we should talk about your favorite football team and their
How trash they are.
Yeah, so
The-
you have a few arguments. You put out a tweet today saying that Matt Ryan is an underrated quarterback.
He is. He is.
I really disagree with you, but I want to understand where you're coming from.
Okay, because everyone is saying, oh, Matt Ryan is so garbage. Matt Ryan is this, Matt Ryan is that. But he's not. It's just that we play in the NFC South, right? So, like, it's really, really hard to beat the Saints. So everyone just overlooks, like, Matt Ryan. But, bro, he be throwing dimes. He's the best deep ball thrower in the league.
Oh
False.
my goodness, I think you're completely wrong about that.
You can't-
Objectively wrong.
It's wrong. You guys are wrong, and I'm right. You know what?
How many,
Come on, man.
No.
I
How
don't-
many
he
deep
may
ball
be-
throws
He
do you
might
have?
be top 5.
In
He's
deep ball throws,
top-
probably.
He's top 2, and he's not 2, which means he's number
Stop.
1.
Stop. All right, and you hate Drake.
I do hate Drake.
Okay, wait a second. So you're saying Matt Ryan throws a better deep ball than Patrick
Drew Brees.
Mahomes?
Yes, I think he throws it better than Drew Brees, and Patrick Mahomes didn't exist like 3 years ago, and so he doesn't count yet.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You got to be in the league at least 5 years for you to matter to me.
He just won the Super Bowl and was MVP of the Super Bowl.
Something that Matt Ryan could have been. Matt Ryan could have been MVP.
Okay, but
and
that
Super Bowl
wasn't
champion.
his fault.
Oh, I think.
I mean,
That
how many
was
points
Kyle
did they put up after
Shanahan.
halftime?
That was Kyle Shanahan. What kind of idiot says, "Oh, we're up by 25 points. Let's continue to throw the ball."
And if Matt Ryan were good at throwing the ball, maybe they would have won the Super Bowl.
Okay, regardless,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a coach, you have to be like a next level of moron. You know what I mean? To say,
No.
hey, we're up by 25 points. Let's continue to throw the ball and be more
I mean, it is a bad choice, but you know why he continued to throw the ball is because he had faith in Matt Ryan, which was unfounded because that man is trash.
Okay, but we're up 28-3. After it's like 28 to like 17, then you should start to realize, maybe this isn't working. Let's just run the ball for the rest
You're
of the
right. I'm not disagreeing with you in that aspect of the game, but I'm saying if Matt Ryan were good, Matt Ryan threw it right to what's that guy's name on the Patriots, the cornerback?
Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler, and the only reason it was a touchdown is because Julio Jones is one of the greatest wide receivers in the league. Because he snatched it right out of his hands. Maybe that was all part of Matt Ryan's plan. Be like, hey, look, I'm trash, but Julio's good.
You know what?
I will agree.
All I know is
Julio's
statistically,
great, yeah.
statistically, last season the greatest deep ball thrower in the league was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
Was he
too
really?
handsome, though. He's too handsome to be
Yeah,
talked
he's very
about.
handsome.
And then you also have to consider the fact that Drew Brees does throw it deep, and yet his completion percentage is still the best ever.
Yeah, Drew Brees is garbage. I hate Drew Brees.
That's
Oh my
completely
goodness!
false.
Why? Okay, can you tell us why Drew Brees
He
is
hates
garbage?
Drew Brees because they destroy the Falcons, and they're the reason the Falcons cannot prosper.
Yeah, Kunal's a hater.
No,
I mean,
he's just annoying.
I guess that's respectable if you're a fan of the Falcons. Like,
No.
you obviously hate other teams. So.
You know what,
Objectively,
Sauger?
Drew
The
Brees
Colts
is
suck.
amazing.
Oh, okay.
The Colts suck.
Why did he have to bring my team into this? Huh?
Because
What did I
you
ever
guys
do
are-
to you?
You guys
Huh?
are
I mean, you
bullying
kinda
Matt
did start
Ryan.
this.
Okay,
Falcons.
that's a
Yeah.
fair point, but
You introduced me by saying Kunal's trash taste in sports teams.
Oh shoot!
I didn't say
Yeah,
you're
what do you
trash.
think's gonna happen?
I said the Falcons are trash.
What is Phillip Rivers gonna do this season?
Okay, so
He's
honestly,
going to have one of his 13 children try out for the team, bro.
hey, you know what?
That man,
I wouldn't
that man
mind.
that man is violating social distancing guidelines by having too many children.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, listen. Okay,
Yeah.
the
You
line
have to
in
get
San
slapped with the
Diego was pretty mediocre. Okay, he's coming to Indy. Our line is amazing. We got Quentin Nelson, right? All pro. He's gonna be protected. We drafted 2 offensive weapons in like the first 2 rounds. We got the running back out of Wisconsin. I forget his name. Do you remember? I'm not sure.
Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, dude, he's disgusting. So we get him. Not only do we get him, we get another receiver that was like on the top of our GM's like draft board. They're like, we have to get this guy. And they got 2 people. They got the running back and the wide receiver. So I think the offense is going to be great. Our defense is going to get better. I mean, we have plenty of good defensive like pieces. Like Darius Leonard is amazing. He's going to ball out. And now we get another wide receiver to complement T.Y. And we get a running back who's like, I think, could be like a RB1 like tier. He could be in the like same league as Kamara, Barkley, Elliott, and like those guys. So I think we're set. Like we're going to make the playoffs this year. I can't say the same about the Falcons.
No, they aren't.
Oh, we
I
certainly
got you
are
guys
going
for
to.
7-9 max.
Okay, well, we're going to make the playoffs. I will put money on this.
I will also put money on that they won't make the playoffs.
Okay, how much are you going to put on this? Huh? How much
How
you going to
much do you want to put? How much do you want to put?
I'm confident. So name a price, bro. Name a price.
50.
Oh, that's a lot. Oh.
I knew it.
Okay, I'll put 52.
All right, and then how about you, Kunal? I'll put 50 on the Falcons not making the playoffs.
No, I'm not doing that because we might not even have a season. Joke's on you.
All right, I'm saying the next season that happens, okay?
Okay, the season where they all play games, the Colts will make the playoffs. I got you for $50 for cost.
And you know what? To be fair, I will counter you with the Steelers will make the playoffs next season as well.
No, they
Okay.
won't.
And you can if you think they won't, then I'm willing to bet 50 on that.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs. I'm not even gonna waste my time. I'm just gonna get my $50 from you, and I'll be
I was
happy.
trying to get 100 real quick. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay. Okay, so Colts are definitely making the playoffs. Mark that down.
Definitely. Come on.
100%.
So they can't even beat Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill is the GOAT, though. That man is unreal.
Yeah,
Because
he made more money than Derrick Henry for handing him the ball. Yeah.
bro, his job is so
that was
easy.
great.
He just gives the ball to Derrick Henry that the defense doesn't even pay attention to him. So he'll run play action, and everyone will, every single defender will be on Derrick Henry, and then you just have like AJ Brown or
wide
something
open.
wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, it's great.
And
So-
Tannehill throws absolute dimes to AJ Brown.
He does.
And
It's easy to throw dimes when
yeah.
nobody's on the receiver.
You do realize that this next season, whenever it happens, there are going to be 14 total teams in the playoffs. So,
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, I did
The-
forget about that.
yeah. So get ready,
And guess
boy.
what?
Get
The
ready.
Colts are still not going to make the playoffs.
Okay, who's going to beat us in the AFC South? Is it going to be Bill O'Brien?
Titans
The
and
Okay,
the
look.
Texans.
The
And
Texans.
the Jaguars too. Shout out my
Oh,
Jacksonville
my
boys.
goodness. Jacksonville.
Gardner Minshew goated.
I also just heard that they're not going to bring back Leonard Fournette, which I think is amazing because he was overrated. He was not good.
Ooh. I don't know, dude.
I don't
He's
like
pretty
him.
good.
I think he's just
I
a
don't
power
like him
back.
either, but
He's just a
that
downhill
man-
runner.
No, dude, his spin move is really good.
Yeah,
It
he's
looks
gonna
like
get
he's
hurt.
going to tear his ACL
Yeah,
every single
you
time.
mentioned this. I don't think
He spins
he's
very
worth
hard
it.
on that one
But
leg.
this could be an opportunity. He could go south in Florida to the Bucks.
I would love it.
But who knows? We'll see.
You
What
just said
happens.
he's overrated. Why would you want him on the Bucks then?
Well, he's overrated for being a first round pick, but if you can get him for like a minimum contract or something cheap for like $1 million or $2 million, he's definitely worth it at that price. I would
Pretty sure
definitely
he
sign
was
him.
close to 5 yards a carry last season.
Yeah, but Jacksonville was irrelevant, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, they had Gardner Minshew.
Okay, he's good. I like Gardner Minshew,
That's
but
pretty good.
they're not going to be anywhere near like the playoffs. I think the Texans are going to regress. They did sign Tunsil though to a $22 million a year deal, which is pretty great. But
And David Johnson is a good running back.
yeah, but he's often injured, so I don't know how that's going to work.
I just think it's stupid that I think they're going to run 4 verticals every single play.
Yeah,
All their wide receivers are just fast.
and
Will
always injured.
Fuller, Will Fuller, Kenny Stills. Who else did they sign?
They got Brandon Cooks, who has like a concussion history. So you got 2 of your best wide receivers who are injury prone, and you know they're going to get hurt. Like
That's why they got them all, because when one's down, you just put the other one right back.
No,
in
what if
line.
they're both hurt at the
Exactly.
same time? They're both going to get hurt at the same exact time. I'm
Then
calling
it's
it.
Kiki Cutie time.
Okay, great. Yeah, Kiki Cutie. I'd
Then
rather
it's time
have
for
T.Y.
Deshaun
Hilton.
Watson to just run across the field and do whatever.
Yeah, but
You'd rather have
he's going to get hurt.
T.Y. Hilton dropping the ball every other play?
Yeah. Or
Hey,
pulling his
hey,
hamstring.
hey, listen. He's growing, okay? He's
He's growing. He's regressing.
it's okay. Yeah, I can't really argue that.
I
But
don't care what happens. If Andrew Luck couldn't have that much success with the Colts, then I don't think Phillip Rivers will.
okay, look, Andrew Luck, the first year under this new management, finished second in MVP voting. Okay, he was like tier 1 quarterback. Phillip Rivers in San Diego had amazing weapons. Yes, line was iffy. I think the line in Indy is going to be good. I think the coaches are great, and I think they're going to make it work.
And then when he's on the ground after a sack, he's gonna be like, "Dang, nabbit, why'd
Yeah.
you do that to me,
He's
brother?"
gonna talk his old man trash talk.
Yeah, that's going to be
I
a
have
big
13
difference from
kids.
Andrew
How
Luck.
many do you have?
Yeah, but no, I think Rivers will be fine for a year. I definitely think it's like one of those things they're doing just to like wait. It's kind of surprising because I thought they would tank for Trevor because that would be the move, but I guess they don't see it in Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I feel like Trevor Lawrence's stock has kind of cooled down a little bit and it'll heat up again. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see who our long-term quarterback would be. we kind of sneakily took Jacob Eason in this draft, and like a few months ago, he was being talked about as like one of the like top prospects for the draft. So we got him, and they said he's going to be like a development project, and he has like a great arm. So maybe like he becomes the quarterback of the future for the Colts. But I don't know. We'll see.
He'll just be Josh Allen 2.0.
Maybe, but hey, you never know. Like I really love the Colts management. The GM is amazing, and the coach is amazing. So I think we're
I
set.
will agree with you there. They've got good management up there right now.
Yeah, I hope they keep them. Like they're
Unlike
amazing.
the Falcons.
I mean, I think Kunal would agree with that. Like
Stop
Dan
blaming
Quinn is
me.
kind of bad.
Yeah, he is pretty bad. Literally last season, he relieved himself from defensive playmaking like calls, and he gave it to the defensive coordinator, and then we won like 5 games in a row. Like 4
Yeah.
or
Which
5
is
games.
promising, honestly.
Yeah.
But now that Tom Brady's in the division, you got literally the 2 best quarterbacks. Well, I guess Patrick Mahomes is up there.
And
2
Aaron
of the top
Rodgers.
3 quarterbacks in the league in the NFC South now.
You forgot about Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, I'm not a huge fan of.
Really?
I mean, I just like he's probably number 4 for me.
That's crazy.
Number
He's
4
1 for
overall?
me.
I'll go Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Drew. Well, okay, for me personally, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, are you talking about this upcoming season
Yeah,
or like overall ranking?
overall ranking, kind of.
Cause I would say like if we're talking about now, like given their ages, Mahomes 1, Rodgers 2, like definitely. Rodgers had a 13-win season last year, and like I knew the Packers overall weren't as good as everyone made them out to be, but when you think about it, they made it to the NFC Championship game, right?
So, what makes Aaron Rodgers better than Drew Brees?
Put Aaron Rodgers on the Saints, and they make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
False.
Yes.
Completely false. The Packers had a better defense last season.
Their defense was utterly destroyed by the 49ers in the playoff game.
Because it's the 49ers.
They got smoked. So that's what I was saying.
The 49ers.
Everyone was saying their defense was amazing, but going into the playoffs, like I knew that their defense is very overrated.
Okay, and they had a better defense than the Saints. Aaron Rodgers on the Saints, you trade those teams, you put Drew Brees on the Packers and Aaron Rodgers on the Saints, Aaron Rodgers would not be 7-9 with 2 of the worst defenses of all time. Drew Brees would be a 5-6 time Super Bowl champion with those Packers teams.
Nah, dude, the Packers really don't surround him with that amazing talent. Like, okay, you had Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams is top tier, but in terms of like other weapons, they're meh. And
No,
their
don't
defense has always been
disrespect-
bad.
Don't
Like-
They've always
disrespect
had
USF
pretty decent-
alum Valdez
Yeah.
Scantling.
Valdez Scantling.
How
Okay.
could you?
So just like off the top of my head, when
They had Jared Cook too. Jared Cook is on the Saints now, and look what Drew Brees does with Jared Cook versus what Aaron Rodgers does with Jared Cook.
I think
Same weapon, different results.
okay,
The
again, look
quarterback's
here.
better.
Aaron Rodgers also, just in terms of coaching, had Mike McCarthy. I don't think Mike McCarthy holds a like flame to Sean Payton, offensively at all. But
Yeah,
so like
also,
They won a Super Bowl.
yeah,
go ahead,
like
Sagar.
yeah, I was gonna say like tying the Falcons into this. I watched the playoff game between the Packers and the Falcons, like the last one they played, and Aaron Rodgers was literally like amazing, but their defense was so bad. I think
Matt
the
Ryan was doing his thing that game. Matt Ryan was doing his thing that
They
game.
had like 40 points, and Aaron Rodgers is just on the sideline, like, okay, they know I'm going to throw the ball. What am I supposed to do? I'm down 14 points. Like, come on. So, I don't know. I feel like, again, for me, it's a very close between Rodgers and Breeze, but I'm just going to say, like, in terms of ability overall, I'm going to give it to Rodgers.
I wouldn't. The counting numbers are in favor of Brees too. Completion percentage, yardage, touchdown, everything is in favor of Drew Brees.
How many more seasons has Breeze played than Rodgers? Is it like 4 or 5?
Yeah, but I'm saying on average, Drew Brees breaks his own completion percentage records. He always throws for at least 4K yards. He has the most 5,000 yard passing seasons. He throws dimes. He throws great touchdowns. And then honestly, like he just utilizes any weapon that he has.
Yeah, no,
When
that's
people-
a
when
great
wide
thing about Drew
receivers
Brees.
leave. When wide receivers leave the Saints, they don't have a career anymore. The only one that could leave right now and still have a career is Michael Thomas.
Yeah, but all Michael Thomas do is run slants. That's it.
And it works.
He just be running quick slants.
And it works.
And he one of the worst tweeters I've ever seen. His tweets are worse than mine.
What is
Yeah,
it?
because you're the legend on Twitter.
And he had that
2020,
one.
Kunal will have 10,000 followers. Am I right?
Yes, that is the plan, dude. Michael Thomas had that one stupid celebration where he dug the phone from under the goalpost, and I was like, "Please get him out of here."
That was a callback.
Yeah, who did that? Was it T.O.? I forget.
No, I forget who it was.
I thought it was T.O.
Was it? Saints.
I don't think it was a Saints player who did it last. Was it Keyshawn Johnson?
I don't know who it was.
I don't remember, dude.
Yeah, but whatever. It was a callback. It was cool. He got fined for it, but whatever. It was worth it. And Michael Thomas is a baller. He even balled with Teddy Bridgewater, who I think is going to be good.
Teddy Bridgewater, goat. I love that man.
Teddy Bridgewater knew what to do under the Saints. It's just throw it to Michael Thomas and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
see,
that's
so
what he did,
any
and that's
quarterback
how they
can
won
have
5 games.
success with the Saints. So that proves that Aaron Rodgers is better because his team hates him. Freaking drafted Jordan Love.
They
When
drafted
Aaron
Jordan
Rodgers
Love.
was begging them, please get me an offensive weapon, please. Like he made it clear, I just want someone who's good on offense that I can throw the ball to. And they said, bet, we'll get your replacement.
No, what makes it worse is that this draft was like set to have like the best bunch of wide receivers in like the last 30 years, right? And they didn't take a single wide receiver in like the early rounds at all. Did they even take a wide receiver in the entire draft? I don't know. They took a quarterback and then a running back. And
that was so funny to me.
That was,
It says,
yeah.
Hey, Packers GM said, what's our top 2 positions? We're pretty good at quarterback, and then we have a really good running back. Who, dude, Aaron Jones is nasty.
He is good.
Yeah,
man,
he's pretty good.
He has like 5.3 yards a carry. That man is close to my GOAT Jamal Charles for his career right now. But
Charles.
I love Jamal Charles. That man averaged 5.4 yards a carry for his career on those trash Chiefs teams, and now he had to miss out, unfortunately. But yeah, they're like, hey, we have a really good quarterback, a really good running back. So with our first 2 picks in the 2020 draft, let's take a quarterback and a running back.
But you know what I see like this being an influence of? Like this
Matt
is
LaFleur?
No. Well, Matt LaFleur obviously, but it's Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan has mastered the RB committee, like in terms of how he uses running back. So look at what happened this draft. You have the Packers taking another running back, pretty high, right? Colts already have Marlon Mack, who's really good, but they also took a running back in the second round. So,
But they already had 2 other running backs too.
but that's what I'm saying. Look at the 49ers, right? They have like how many running backs do they have that are amazing? They have.
Well, they traded Matt Breida.
Did they trade? I thought they just tendered him.
No, they traded him to the Dolphins right before the draft, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought they tendered
have
him. Whatever.
Raheem Mostert. They have Kevin Coleman.
They were both
And Jerick McKinnon.
Jarek McKinnon. Those are 3.
Jeff Wilson Jr.
Jeff Wilson Jr. was amazing when he came in, right? So you have three good people who are established, and then you have Jeff Wilson, who could be
but all
something.
that means is that you go into the Super Bowl and losing. That's all that means. If you have Kyle Shanahan.
Well, no. What it means is that you have a chance at winning the Super Bowl because they had the
But
lead.
you're not going to win it because you're going to be up by a certain number, and then the other team going to be like, oh, who are we playing again? Kyle Shanahan? That's right. And then they win.
But they will. Okay, I get your logic, but again, like I think the Kyle Shanahan effect of having like these running back centered offenses, with the passing game mixed in, is like a formula that other teams are trying to copy now. So I think that's why people drafted running backs, even though they already had them. So
You
maybe
can try and copy it, but you won't do it to the same success as they will.
no, you
That's
won't.
the thing.
Yeah,
It's just like the Rays in the opener. People will try and do the opener. They'll try to establish it in their lineups, but no one's gonna do it as well as the Rays do. That's the thing. The Rays are influential, man. The Rays are the reason the shift is prevalent. The Rays are the reason people use the opener. The Rays are the reason people started bunt squeezing to get people home. Rays are influential.
so
man.
exactly that's why I think Kyle Shanahan is the reason that people are taking running backs, even though they have them.
Possibly.
And I think it could be smart because with the running back like strategy, you could really take control of the offense and rest your defense if need be, and that could lead to something. Now, there's a team that's doing the opposite of this, and that's the Buccaneers. They have decent running backs, but no one amazing. Their like receivers are just fully loaded, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
They drafted a running back too.
Oh yeah, who did we draft? I
In the
forget.
3rd round. I forget.
I think it's the dude from Vanderbilt, right?
I'm not sure, but hopefully he's good.
My
I think
my roommate, who's a big Bucks fan, says that he is good.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about running backs is like they can be good as soon as they're out of college. Like,
Yeah.
there's no like warm up or like adjustment they need to make because they take the ball and run. So,
my thing is, I don't care how many quality running backs you have. It all depends on your offensive line.
that is 100% facts.
That's why Le'Veon Bell can leave the Steelers, and you have a James Conner, a Jalen Samuels who can thrive anyway. Jalen
And
Samuels, I
again,
love him, and I love James Conner too. And they still drafted a running back.
Yeah, so look at the Colts. The Colts have an amazing offensive line, and they took a running back. So I think the Colts strat will work. I think it'll be amazing, especially with an older quarterback like Phillip Rivers. You can have him in situations where he's making like short intermediate passes that he's been making. You don't really need him to throw it deep too often, and he can if you need him to. So I think the offense that they're trying to build in Indy is going to be good.
Potentially 7-9.
Oh God! Hey, you know what? You could be right, and I could be right. They could make the playoffs being 7-9 if there's like 7 teams making it per division. So
Per division.
yeah, it's 14 teams total. I mean, per conference,
Per league.
per conference. Yeah.
Conference, yeah. Anyway, football's great. Can't wait for the season. Who knows when it'll start?
Yeah, it's tough. And the the other sport that we love a lot is basketball, and the NBA seems to be like in limbo still. Like there's so many rumors about, oh, we're not gonna have the season. Oh, we're gonna have the season. That's false. And like it's just back and forth right now. So hopefully they can figure it out.
I just want to see LeBron James, man.
Yeah, so that's another thing between all three of us. We are LeBron James stans. We speak the truth. He is the GOAT. I think we all agree with that, and we definitely want to see him win with
My
the
goat is
Lakers.
personally Bill Russell.
That's 100% false.
How many rings does he have? 11?
Yeah, but if it's dude, he was playing people who had like day
He
jobs
was,
who were like
he was
accountants.
playing plumbers, bro. He was playing
Yeah.
kids whose basketball wasn't even their first option. He's like, bro, I'm just here so I can feed my kids. I gotta go home, bro.
Hey, 11 rings is 11 rings. And if we talking about influential people in the past, that man was part of the civil rights movement. We love LeBron because of all the things that he does outside of basketball. I mean, Bill Russell's up there. I prefer LeBron James. I think he's my GOAT. But I'm just saying, Bill Russell is that man.
That is true, but whose shoes are more fire, LeBron or Bill Russell?
Oh my God.
Michael
There
Jordan.
you go. LeBron got some fire shoes. I don't see no who you know rocking Bill Russells, bro.
You know what? I'm going to buy some Bill Russells right now.
Yeah, good luck finding them. I think you'll get them at Burlington Coat Factory. Check.
It'll probably be like some like leather shoes or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. I again, Bill Russell, legend. If we're talking GOAT though, LeBron.
It is LeBron. It's a fact. We should have invited someone who's just anti-LeBron so we can just all collectively roast them.
We should
Just
get
bully them
Skip
out
Bayless
of the
on this
podcast.
show.
Yeah, get Skip Bayless and then bully him off of the podcast.
Bring up his 1.2 points in high school. I
Yeah.
think that's what he averaged in high school. That was
Hey man, one thing that I will say,
Yeah.
LeVar Ball is a greater college hooper than LeBron James was.
That is correct.
Okay.
I'm a better
that-
college hooper
all-
than LeBron is. LeBron don't want to catch me at Southwest, bro. he don't want to catch me at Southwest. I'm gonna go 0 for 20 in front of him, and what he's gonna do to stop me?
Oh,
Nothing if
shoot,
you just miss the ball.
Exactly. He doesn't need to do anything.
dude.
Do you think he could score a bucket on LeBron?
Absolutely not. Not even close.
Like not even on
I'd be too
accident.
scared. That man would injure me going for a layup.
What if you're
He'll
just
go
like
for like a soft layup and I'll just like get a concussion or something.
He'll like do that thing where like he pump fakes like where he's about to dribble and I'll fall. I'll fall.
what if you're like, oh, it's like your possession, and then you point to the ground and say, LeBron, your hair's over there, because it like it's
Oh.
falling out. Then he looks and then you go score.
Good point.
I think that would work.
Oh
I think
my
that's a
God.
sound strat. But yeah, no. Realistically, I could not score on LeBron either. No one could. Like,
Yeah.
I could score on Michael Jordan.
oh,
I
you.
could score Michael Jordan. I'd slap his bald head and then he'd be like, "What?" And then I'd just throw it up and I'd score.
Okay, Isaiah Thomas. Good luck with that, man.
I'll just go in between his legs, like Nate Robinson.
Man, again,
dude.
Michael Jordan, like the whole documentary's out and everyone loves it, but I think Michael Jordan was on the right team at the right time. Like when the primes of all the other, like powerhouses were like slowly like going down, like the Lakers and the Pistons. So he took advantage of it.
It's unfortunate
yeah.
he never got to play Hakeem Olajuwon. You know.
True.
I mean, he did completely dismantle the Jazz, and that team was so promising. Like you would have thought that they would have won a championship, but they just got stopped every time.
Yeah, but could you imagine like Michael Jordan then playing like the Golden State Warriors? Can you imagine just Kevin Durant scoring like 50 a game and Steph Curry shooting from the half court line? Like
that's why it's just tough to make the argument because the eras they pushed the 3-point line closer so that they could influence more scoring in Michael Jordan's era, and he didn't take advantage of it. I mean, his 3-point percentage went up, but it's easier to make 3-pointers when it's closer, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, and the defenses were theoretically easier to play in the 90s just because, you can't double anyone. You weren't allowed to, or else it's a foul. And people used to say, "Oh, the league is so soft now." But I watched some film of like old basketball, and there's some ticky-tacky calls there too that, they're just like today's NBA. I mean, yeah, you can punch someone probably back then and it would be fine, but like.
But also the thing is, who wants to watch that? Who wants to watch like hard fouls and people just getting punched in the face and like hacked a lot? No one wants to watch that type of basketball, right?
Yeah. Also, I find it funny, like, the league was like soft, like league's soft now. I find that funny because like one of those episodes of the Last Dance like talked about how the Pistons walked off the court without shaking the Bulls' hands and how they were so upset with that. I was like, that is one of the softest things I've ever heard. You're upset about them not shaking your hand. What's the problem there? They're just not shaking your hand. Deal with it. Like
it's a respect thing, I guess.
I feel like
I would
that's
get
like,
mad at that too.
Yeah, but like they're gonna talk about the league being soft now, but you're gonna tell me that's like getting upset about that is like.
I see what you're saying.
Like, come on now, come on.
That makes sense.
Like,
that makes sense.
Like
and I also one last thing about the different eras. I think free throws are around the same. I don't think people are taking. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe now is because you see James Harden getting like 30 free throws a game. But one thing I find interesting, Wilt Chamberlain was talking to Michael Jordan, I think, and what he said is, they changed the league to make it harder for me to succeed, but they changed the league to make it easier for you to succeed. And that quote's kind of fire, because Wilt Chamberlain, that was the dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like. The only reason Wilt Chamberlain doesn't have 11 championships is because Bill Russell was there.
Mm-hmm.
That man is so mysterious, bro. Nobody really know anything about Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He like the 100-point game and everything, like all that. I guess it's just the time he played, the records weren't that well kept. They weren't on TV. You didn't really have video of some of the games, but hey, he's a legend and people remember him. So.
And there was no 3-point line back then.
Yeah, true. I think
makes it even crazier.
And the other thing I think is that just the level of athlete today is so different than the level of athlete from like 10, 20 years ago, in terms of just all the things people can take advantage of now with technology.
Yeah, MFs are basically bioengineered to play basketball for their entire lives now.
Yeah.
Versus back in the day. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't wait for NBA to come. I can't wait for sports to come back. I need my baseball. I need my football. I need my basketball.
Hey, you could be watching
I need my water
volleyball.
polo.
Water polo? Yeah, dude.
I know.
You said I could be watching volleyball?
You could be watching...
I'm watching Dr. Stone, okay?
You could be watching volleyball in anime form, okay?
Get off of me, dude. I said I'll watch Haikyuu and you watch Assassination Classroom. I think that's a fair deal.
Yeah, okay.
And Assassination Classroom is half the length of Haikyuu, less than half the length of Haikyuu.
I think Haikyuu's at, what is it, 75?
5 seasons.
Plus, it's like 88 episodes right now.
All right, so it's closer to a quarter.
No, I think that's what.
No,
like
it's half.
60,
it's like
66%.
60%.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude. All right, Kunal.
Yeah.
Tell us about your quarantine. How you feel about quarantine?
I mean, it's important to quarantine, obviously, because you don't want to affect like other people. Because you could be like, obviously, as everyone knows, you could be an asymptomatic like carrier, and then you could go out and like unknowingly and basically unknowingly infect other people, and it can have like a snowball effect. But I mean, like, to be frank, it kind of sucks that we're stuck in our house, right? You know, like, obviously I miss basketball. I miss like playing basketball. I miss playing frisbee. I miss playing football. I miss going out to restaurants and sitting down and eating. I miss
Being with friends.
Yeah, like just hanging out with friends, being able to go to like friends' house and stuff like that. But one thing that it has done for me is like, I guess it's opened new hobbies for me. So I mean, like, as you guys know, like the beginning of this quarantine, I was like, it was hard to adapt, but then after a couple weeks, I was like, okay, this is not going away anytime soon. What am I going to do? So I just picked up some hobbies. So I started to create my own fashion brand, right? So I've been working on that. And I mean, I like the design right now. I think it's pretty cool.
I also like the design.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Why don't you describe it a little bit, or do you want to keep it like a secret?
No, I can describe it a little bit. So
yeah,
like,
go for it.
Don't describe it in too much detail. We don't want someone to gyp your idea because this is $1 million idea.
Well, essentially, how do I describe it without...
What was the inspiration for your idea?
What was the like for the design, or just
like what compelled you to make what you did? Yeah.
Okay, so to get into fashion, so I followed like a couple of Twitter accounts of like people who, like, it was their personal Twitter accounts, but like their pinned tweets or like their bio would be like, oh, check out my design, fashion design or whatever. So I would check them out, and they were all really cool. And like as I follow them, I see their tweets every day about how something that started as just like an idea has become like they have their own shop, or like they have a lot of followers now, and even like famous people are wearing them. Like there's this one account on, or like this one company, it's called like Good Guy Made in America, and like Bradley Beal wore one of his hats while giving a post-game interview, and wow. I thought that was one of the coolest things. So I was like, you know, maybe Lil Yachty will be repping some fresh Kunal merch or something like that.
That would be the dream, wouldn't
it? That would be the dream. Yeah. Or LeBron James. LeBron James could be rocking my hoodie or something like that.
So yeah, that just reminded me of like this. Well, I don't even know if it's a conspiracy theory, but I was watching a Shane Dawson video about it. So, like, do you remember when Champion was like the cheap brand that you could buy at Walmart for like $5?
Yeah.
Like, and now it's like this high fashion thing where like you can buy like $180 Champion sweatshirt.
Yeah.
It's insane, right? And like in the video, like I was watching, and like just Kanye wearing Champion once really boosted it, and like everyone started wearing Champion, and then I think that's what made like the effect and like snowball into what it is today. So yeah. Exactly, like one famous person wearing one thing of yours could like make it explode in popularity to the point where it's like a name brand that everyone like hears of now.
Exactly. That's kind of like Kawhi Leonard too, right? He's doing New Balance, and now all of a sudden you're going to see a lot of kids wearing like New Balance basketball shoes, or like New Balance shoes where New Balance was thought of to not be like one of the like more popular brands like Nike and Adidas, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's also one of the reasons, like with my fashion brand, like if I like the design, I kind of really don't care what other people think, because like if one person likes it, that's all that matters, right? Because like let's say my design is one of the worst designs in the world, right? Like it's just objectively awful. If like some famous rapper, like let's say like Young Thug, right? If Young Thug likes my design and he wears it, then automatically other people will start wearing it just because Young Thug wore it, or something like that, right?
Very true.
Yeah. And I think, no, it's great. And you're going in with the right intention. Like, if you're going in with like, okay, I need to make something that appeals to the mass public that will sell well, then I think you're limiting yourself in terms of what you can create. So by going in with like the idea of, hey, as long as one person likes it, I'll be happy with it. You're like you're more like free to make whatever you want. Like you're not hindered by something else.
Yeah, and like I also think that like, so like there's a argument of like whether or not someone is talented, right? Like you think certain designers are talented and certain other designers are not talented. I think that if you're able to create something and like at least one other person enjoys it, then you're talented, right?
Okay, that's fair.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like even
and
with
like, it's something that you enjoy doing too, and that's probably the most important part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, hope it takes off, my guy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I've been stuck right now because like I am like worse than a beginner level of Photoshop and Illustrator. I have zero knowledge of it, so it took me like almost a week to figure out how to draw circles in Illustrator. But I mean,
it's all a learning process.
Yeah, I like the design now. I want to add a little bit more stuff, but like, I don't know if I'm just like if I have the ability to like learn how to create that, or if I need to take like classes or something to do some of the stuff that I want. But like right now, I like where the design's at, and I'll probably share it sometime soon to see what like everyone else thinks.
You have an ETA on whenever like the design will be finished and when the store will be open. We'll push it, dude.
No, I mean, I gotta first like see. I don't even have any knowledge of how to put it on shirts. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was just gonna Google like how to put your design on a shirt, right? And like work my way from there. So I got to figure out all of that stuff before I can even start thinking of like releasing it. And then I got to see what it looks like on a shirt. I got to wear it to see like if I like it or not. So I got to take all that like preliminary stuff before I can even like.
I feel like, I mean, I've seen like a few older versions of it. I feel like it'd be super cool if you had like just like an idea, like a black shirt, and it's like a tiny version of it, and it's like a patch on the black shirt. I think that would look really cool.
What do you mean, like?
I think so too.
Yes.
Like you have your design on as like a little symbol on.
Oh, like the polo symbol, or like
yeah, like it's like embroidered.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like embroidered on there.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, yeah, that would be cool. One, I don't know anything about embroidery or stitching.
Hey, but like that's the thing. You don't have to worry about that. You could probably outsource that through like a company. There's so many out there now that like manufacture merch for like so many different people. So
yeah, and they just take a percentage of your gains.
Yeah.
So they really don't have anything to lose by just putting it out there. They supply it for you. You set your price, and they take a percentage of it. You know.
Yeah, that is true.
So the cool thing about that, I was gonna say like so PewDiePie, right? The world's #1 YouTuber. The way he does his merch. Okay, yeah. Well, okay. So we'll talk about that, but this is just how he does his merch, right? He has a design, so he'll put these designs on his store, and no units of the merch are actually produced until everyone orders it. So the idea is like when people buy it, they're alerted like, hey, you bought this, but it'll take a month or 2 months, and this is when the deadline for buying items closes. After this, we'll start producing them. So that way, even the company that you work with doesn't really have an overhead. And so I think you could be onto something with that.
I think there are companies that do it regardless. Like they won't produce it until it's ordered. You know what I mean?
True.
Even if it's low orders, because you can't really expect some, like, not to say your brand won't take off immediately, Kunal.
Yeah.
But
you're good.
To have like a minimum order of, let's say 50, that'd probably take a while, unless you're like pushing it very hard. It's something that you're doing for hours a day. You're putting advertisements and whatnot everywhere. You're paying for advertisements to put it everywhere. It might take a while to get those minimum order type things, but I do think there are places that will just fulfill the orders as they come in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about the research. You'll figure it out.
And you never know. This is kind of a tease, but maybe you could be collabing with a certain watch company in the future.
Oh,
and we could do like some collab with that.
Let's do it. Watch Archives and Kunal's fashion brand collab.
Yeah, dude, you could collab and design a watch in the future. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I like the name of my brand too. It's called Let the World Know like brand, and the slogan is.
Wait, what's the brand name?
It's called Let the World Know like brand.
Okay.
Right, and so the slogan is "You are a shining star. Let the world know." And it has like some of the things in the slogan incorporated into the design. I'll probably post it like sometime soon on Twitter and like take opinions on it. I mean, if you say it's like a piece of garbage, I mean, I'll get sad, but it's whatever.
I mean, I'm sure people are going to give you constructive criticism.
Yeah.
If you want to see this design, everyone, it's at Kunizi on Twitter.
At Kunizi _. You got to make sure you got the underscore. It's
at Kunizi _ KUNEEZY _.
Exactly.
And I feel like you definitely have a heads up on like just designing your brand, because like a lot of people can get lost in the weeds of like understanding art terminology. Like I took one art class and they're like talking about, oh, you need a certain amount of negative and positive space in your image.
Oh, man, I don't
And I
even
was
know
like,
what that
yeah,
means.
you don't need to, right? You just start creating, and once you're creating,
Yeah.
you're doing it. So like, you're set.
Just
You already created something.
if you like it and if it looks cool to you, then that's all that matters.
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
Facts. So, hey, Kunal, do you think that you'll have more than one design? And if so, do you think it's going to be centered around some idea? Like you said, let the world know. Will it be that sort of like positive imagery if you create more designs?
Yeah, I mean that's at least the goal, is to like make it something designed around positive imagery, because I think of myself as like positive person. I like to give, like, I like to be positive and be nice to others. So I'd like my brand to, reflect that somehow. So, I mean, since I only have that one design right now, who knows? Maybe something will come to me again and I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's the one, or something like that.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's great.
I'm looking forward to your design, man.
Thank you,
I mean, your
brother.
brand and
Yeah,
everything.
and are you gonna
I
have like a
appreciate
thing where it's like a distinction that is like your key identifier? Like people know that this is you when they look at like a piece of your work. Like how certain artists have styles.
I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know.
I'm
Probably
sure.
it's one
I
of those
mean,
things
yeah,
that'll come as it comes.
it'll come as
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll just put a big fat canal right in the middle of the design.
Yeah, just put
That'll
your
let
name,
them know.
put it with a hashtag and you're set.
Exactly.
Then they'll know it's
So-
you.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, yeah, like it's good to have those sort of passions, and right now is probably the optimal time to work on things like that, like your passion projects, your hobbies that you never wanted to start, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And
But
I
Sagar,
think
you said we were gonna circle back to something
I can't
that
remember.
Kunal said.
But I just like I guess circling back to the whole idea of this convo is that the reason you had this like time to do this was because of like COVID.
Mhm.
So in a sense, yeah, everything around it is terrible, but there's certain lessons we can learn from this, including we need to get better at like pandemic control and on the healthcare side. But I think it's given people a disruption in their daily lives, and it's making them realize like and value things they want to do.
Exactly.
And I think
Like,
a lot of people get stuck in a rut, right? They just go to work, come home, eat, go to the gym maybe, and go to sleep. But like now there's a disruption in the schedule, and it took something like this to get people to acknowledge maybe this is what they want to do. But there's some positives that we can take from the entire situation.
yeah, like one of the biggest things is, sorry to cut you off, Vikas, but like
You're good.
one of the biggest things I know is like cherish the time that you have now, because like this senior year I always kept thinking, oh dude, I'm gonna have like another week to enjoy time with my friends, and then graduation is gonna be some big deal, and me and all my friends are gonna have these cool summer plans, and then like it didn't pan out right. So now all that time that I spent, like I didn't really, I mean I loved it, but I didn't like. I kept thinking, oh, we're gonna have more weekends just like this. We're gonna have more like time to spend with my friends just like this, and that's not the way it worked, unfortunately.
I think this is contradicting one of your key catchphrases from a few weeks ago. What did you say? The only thing guaranteed is the future, or something like that.
I said the only thing guaranteed is the future.
That was so funny. Oh,
I think I see you've grown and enlightened yourself.
I have.
Gosh, I remember when he said that. He said it, and then I think there was like a good 1 or 2 second pause, and then everyone just busted out laughing because it wasn't true at all.
Yeah.
And you said it during the COVID time. It was just funny.
It's just.
I was gonna say, yeah, you have to cherish your time that you have at all times, right? But at the same time, you have to look at the silver linings during the situation, and see the positives and everything. For example, I think it was a week ago or a week and a half ago at this point, where I was able to I went on a volunteer trip to Thailand a few years ago, and for the first time since the trip, everyone got together. Not everyone, a few people got together, and we all just sat on a Zoom call and talked, right? And in this time, I've noticed a lot of people are becoming more uh, self-reflective, introspective, and thinking about themselves and what they're missing out on, and thinking of others as well, and wanting to reach out and whatnot. And I think that's a beautiful thing, right? Like, people are trying to establish this human connection because we're trying to fulfill that void of not being able to hang out with friends, not being able to, go to restaurants or play basketball or anything. Like, for example, we've been on Discord playing video games, playing a lot of Warzone, more than we ever have.
Yeah.
Right? And we've been able to talk every day and stuff like that, and I've had fun doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always good to look at the silver linings, but it does definitely suck that, essentially what you thought would be the best part of your college year just got taken away from you.
Yeah, that's true. And then also, I think it's important, like yeah, to look at the silver lining. But for some people, this situation though, like, does like bring out sorry, I'm trying to think of like the right words. It's like,
I know it can bring out the worst in people as well.
Yeah, because like not the worst in people, but like put people in like precarious situations. So like, I was listening to one of my friends' podcasts, and he had someone talking about like people in like toxic relationships or people with substance abuse like problems. They're put like in this quarantine. They're gonna be like, some of the ways to escape that is like by going outside, hanging out with others, stuff like that. So, and now they're placed in this quarantine situation where like it's easier to like go back into old habits, or it's easier to like, if you're in it, it's easier to, not easier, but like more likely to like that negative things will occur like in those situations. So like we got to think about that too.
Especially with people with mental illness, when
Yeah,
they're way out of those sort of problems, is to go outside, hang out with friends, do a hobby, and things of that nature. Yeah, that's definitely an issue. And honestly, little side note, the only governor I've really seen talk about that is Andrew Cuomo, and he explicitly talks about it, and it really does suck. It's a terrible situation to be in. But there have been a lot of like corporations, companies that are reaching out, being like, hey, this is still a time when you can reach out to us, we'll help you. And if you're in an abusive relationship, talk to us. If you need help, talk to us. Think of things of that nature. And I think that's really cool too, that there are people out there that'll still help in these terrible times.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of a criticism for like alcohol businesses staying open during this time. And I was like, I wonder why those are labeled as essential. But then, people are explaining, like, which I never thought about, there may be people who are battling addiction or just haven't started yet, but if you close these stores, they're going to go through withdrawal symptoms, which could just make the entire quarantine situation by them staying at home even worse. So like thinking about those kind of situations and like that kind of foresight is something at first glance you may not catch. And so like everyone's learning from the situation, right? We're learning how we handle this. We're learning about the consequences actions like limiting people's movement has on not just ourselves, but themselves, just overall societally. So there's a lot of different factors to consider with this.
Truly unprecedented times, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it's all going to wrap up, how it's going to be talked about in the history books and everything, because we still talk about Spanish flu and, things of that nature. So the way we handled this will definitely be talked about, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen, because states are reopening, and I'm curious to see what will happen with coronavirus numbers when that does happen.
I mean, the models are already predicting that the infection rates are going to jump,
and that's only logical, right?
Yeah,
like that's what's going to happen, and I think the U.S. understands that too. And then there's another factor in that: what if we establish our reopening procedures, and then the second wave comes along in October? And everyone's used to being out again, and, death rates go up, people in the hospitals go up. It's just, I don't know. It'll be weird the future will be weird. We're recording this on May 2nd, by the way, just, as reference. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crazy. There's like so many factors that people just cannot account for. As time goes on, yeah, we all three like firmly believe that quarantining is the most effective and quickest way to end the COVID spread. But the more I've been again, there's outrageous situations like in Michigan where people are openly protesting and breaking the suggestions. God. Yeah, Jesus and Christ. I feel like again they're using a strawman argument that government is overstepping their bounds by ordering people to stay at home. And I think this is again a spread of misinformation, right? If we can effectively communicate with everyone, we would not have these situations. Again, you could argue that these people are people that just cannot be communicated with on those levels, but who knows? Like, again, the government is not ordering or forcing anyone to stay home in the United States, right? These are all strictly recommendations, and they're for people's own good and their own well-being. So, that's definitely one point. And the other point is, like, there's a certain amount of desperation growing for people who cannot afford rent, who, yes, get stimulus checks, but what does that cover? Maybe the food that they eat, right? I don't think it can cover your food, your housing, and your child costs if you have a kid, covering all their expenses. Now staying at home, they may need a computer or something, right? If they're online classes. So I understand the plight of people who want to go back to work simply for the fact that they need to have a roof over their head. And so, like, it's a very trying time, and we'll see where it goes. And this is definitely not going to die down until there's a vaccine.
Oh, what pisses me off the most is when people say, I want a haircut. Like, come on, dude. That's the reason you want quarantine to end? I need a haircut. I need to go out to the bar and get a beer. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. At least have valid arguments to it. Like, a valid argument is that you want to go back to work. That makes sense to me. I understand people are in these precarious situations. Still got to pay rent. Still got to pay utilities. Still got to pay all this stuff. And, yeah, that's a, fair argument. But you're just demeaning that argument when you say you want to get a haircut or you want to, do those menial things. Learn how to cut your own hair, old man.
So that's where I think it's really important to separate the different sides, because like this is not just like a one side versus the other. There's different segments of the population, like the extreme groups that like say, oh, I want a haircut, you can't force me to stay home. There's people who are more reasonable and understand the consequences of leaving but are really desperate to. And then there's people who understand that quarantining is the best, but at some point some aspects of the economy may need to reopen just to keep people having roofs over their heads. So like this is such a, it's like you were saying again, it's not a black and white thing. It's more of a spectrum, and people are handling it. There's some governors who are not handling it as well as we would like, but again, we're going to learn a lot of lessons from this. So next time, if this ever happens, which I think it may, we'll be more ready than this time.
That's why we should just get rid of the economy. Make everything free. Problem solved.
Problems.
This is brought to you by your local psychology major.
Exactly.
I'm joking.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I think he just read Mein Kampf.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Was it about the COVID stuff?
It was. Oh jeez. Someone continue else.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, overall, again, super complicated situation. Not gonna go away until vaccines. There's so many people who have different perspectives to it.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, go for it.
With Spanish flu, didn't like San Francisco open early? Like they reopened their economy early, and then their rates of death skyrocketed right after. I believe that's accurate.
Again,
no idea.
I want to believe that everyone is a rational person, but being an econ student, right? First lecture of econ ever. The first assumption you make in any market is that consumers will not have rational preferences. Okay, there's no way that you can assume people will be rational in the decisions they make. And a key example of this, which was just mind-boggling to me, was during an interview on CNN between Anderson Cooper and the mayor of Las Vegas, who literally said that she volunteered Las Vegas to be The what's it called? When you're like given
The test subject.
yeah, the sugar pill.
That's crazy.
Placebo.
Yeah, so she literally volunteered Las Vegas to be the placebo group. I think she was trying to sound smart, but that's not how a placebo works. Okay, first of all, and two, that is so insane to me. And the fact that Anderson Cooper was asking her if she meant what she said, and she doubled down and said, "You think you got me there, but I said I already volunteered to do it." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah, Anderson Cooper's like, so you're saying you're volunteering the city of Las Vegas to be a test group for reopening the economy? No. You think you got me there, Anderson? No, I said I already did, and we got denied.
Yeah.
So she was like, she thought she was smart. Bro, that was so funny.
And so
I don't know how. Oh, and he also said, "So do you have plans for the casinos and restaurants for when they open?" She said, "No, that's for them to find out. I just want to reopen."
exactly, and I was just
How do these people get elected?
exactly.
No,
So
but-
these are the kind of people we have in like representative positions.
Bro, you talking about that? Think about the governor of Georgia, Kemp. I don't know his bro. He just passed that law that said teenagers no longer need to take the driver's test to get a driver's license. They just need their parents' permission.
It's so crazy.
Is this a response to COVID or is this something totally different?
I haven't.
I think it's a response to COVID.
Yeah.
How does that make any
Because
sense?
they can't go to a DMV. You can't stay 6 feet apart from your driving instructor.
Oh goodness.
It's strange, man.
I
And
love how
also,
that's the first worry he has.
Yeah, and he's also the same dude that like discovered like maybe a week or two ago that you could be an asymptomatic carrier.
He said, "This is breaking information
Yeah.
that we didn't know previously."
And
Bruh, how behind the times can you be?
yeah,
Okay, no, I think he's just
Georgia really screwed the pooch by not voting for Stacey.
look.
Abrams.
He's playing dumb. He opened up restaurants again, right? I was reading a lot of things that were saying like by opening up restaurants and then them volunteering themselves to not open, restaurants would no longer be eligible for certain relief programs, right? So I think that was the move he was going for. So
Jeez.
it's all like a political game, right? And it sucks that there's people like that who are in charge of situations like this, but we have to get through it and yeah, just
That's
come
why
out on
you-
the other
Dude,
side.
politics annoys me, man. I don't want to pay attention to it, but I have to because it's such a crazy environment. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
and
why
I-
you
Like
should hire
I
me.
hate CNN, I hate Fox, I hate MSNBC, I hate all those news channels. But I don't know, dude. They're annoying. Politics is annoying. One thing I also remember, Laura Ingraham got to interview Fauci and brought up none of her points that she usually says when she says he's a crook or whatever. Got shut down by every single one of her arguments that she did pull up, and she still thinks she won the argument. I hate Laura Ingraham with a passion, dude. That woman pisses me off.
That's why you
It's,
should elect Kunal Kaushal as your next governor. I'll give you whatever you want, whenever you want it.
All right, can you give me a better, music taste
Yes.
for yourself, not for me?
Yes. So,
You'll fix your own music taste.
well, it doesn't need to be fixed, but I mean, if you want, I'll listen to more Lil Yachty if that helps.
I don't think you can come through on your promise. There's nothing you could do to help the Falcons win a Super Bowl.
Yes, I can. Yes, I'm gonna go play quarterback right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna lock up Michael Thomas and Mike Evans at the same time.
There's one thing you're better at than Matt Ryan, and that's throwing the ball to Julio Jones. I will give you that. That man does not throw it to him. I don't know why. I think he's learning over the past few seasons, but yeah.
Because they be doubling Julio. That's why Calvin Ridley has such an amazing. I love how we transgress back to football.
Yeah,
Julio Jones is
we love
double
football.
Covered.
Yeah.
Julio Jones is double covered, so Calvin Ridley will be wide open, and he just gets open touch. Okay, that's all I got to say on the Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not go back to the Falcons. We all know they suck and they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So they don't
so
deserve our time.
Moving on.
Oh brother, oh brother.
Yeah. So the COVID thing is
So,
crazy.
Kunal, one thing I always wanted to ask you, moving away from all these sad situations.
Yeah.
How are you so good at Pokemon, but you haven't played a Pokemon game in years?
Because you know what, it just comes naturally to me. Once you learn the game and become a student of the game, it just sticks with you. It's like tying your shoes or riding a bike. Once you learn once, you're just ridiculously amazing at it for the rest of your life.
Do you tie your shoes? I think you just slide your feet into them. Like, like whenever you like we hang out, I think I see your shoes like tied and you just pop your feet in.
Oh yeah, they're pre-double knotted, and I just slip my foot in them.
Okay, but it's just speaking of that, like, so this year again with the quarantine thing, I've been super absorbed in like online, well, not like Pokemon Showdown, but like Pokemon Sword online like battles. I think we could do a whole podcast on that. Like, I can go in depth on team building and things I've learned and what they're trying to do and like all the different mechanics.
We could do one on video games too. Like this whole quarantine, I've just played video games non-stop.
And you've been getting better at Warzone. We've played a lot, and
I mean, I'm still garbage, but I'm less garbage.
No, you're
than
clutch.
I was
You're better. You've been downing people. You've been reviving people. You're like
I'm good at standing next to Vikas and reviving him when he dies.
Hey man,
Dude, I think next podcast we got to go in on video games. Because we are probably nearing the end of this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We're getting to the hour and 10-minute mark, so it's been fun. This flew by really quick, and it was definitely fun having Kunal as our esteemed guest on the podcast this time.
Yeah, if we ever need a psychology major to come in and give us some advice, we're going to call you, Kunal, every single time.
Bet. It might be some of the worst advice you've ever heard, but it's still advice.
Hey, great prefacing your immense knowledge.
Hey, you have the degree, and that's all that counts.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't have psychology degrees.
That is true. I'm going to call my other psychology friends who have even worse opinions than mine.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
But I think that's a good place to wrap up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Thank you for coming on, Kunal.
No problem, brother. Thank you.
Let's
guys
do another
for
one
having me.
tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm down.
All right, man. Well, thank you for listening to the 1ND podcast. You can find this podcast on anywhere you listen to podcasts, and we upload it on YouTube too. Please go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything that we would want you to follow us on. And finally, just thank you for listening.
All right, guys. 1ND out.